Hello guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on how you can set up your Raspberry Pi headlessly. So this should work on any Raspberry Pi that is able to connect to a Wi-Fi wirelessly. So what you will need is obviously your power cable, which in this case is a USB-C cable. You'll need your Raspberry Pi, micro SD card, for the Raspberry Pi, and optionally dongles if your computer does not have a micro SD card slot. Um, right now I'm going to move on to my desktop where I will be installing the OS image and doing some other procedures.
So guys, now I'm at my desktop and the first thing that you're gonna want to do is open up your browser and then search for raspberrypi.org. This will take you to Raspberry Pi's website. And for this video, I'm going to use Raspbian OS. So you just go to computers and then click on software. And here you can also see Raspberry Pi's imager. Um, for this video, I'm just going to use the standard imager that comes with my OS. But if you don't have one, I recommend you to get Balena Etcher, which is free. Today we're going to do manually install an operating system image. So here you can see there's a couple of different ones. For this video, I'm going to use Raspberry Pi OS Lite, as basically I use my Raspberry Pi 4 as a server, so I don't really need a GUI. But the desktop version is fine too. You can use that if you want. So you just click download, and if you don't have a good network connection, you can download it with a torrent. But I've already downloaded it, so after you have downloaded it, you can just close your browser and go into your downloads, and it should look like that. You should have that, and then you just extract it, and you'll get the image right there. So now you can also open up your imager, and now you can insert your micro SD card as well. And as you can see, I already have Raspbian here, but I'm going to just overwrite that. So I'm going to use this image and to this, which is my micro SD card, and you can write that. And most times, depending on your OS, you'll need to authenticate it using your password. So while we're waiting for that, we can open up our text editor, and here you just paste this script in here. It will be in the description, so you can just copy it and paste it in there. And first off, a lot of people miss this country. You specify it. This is my country right there that I'm going to, yeah, that I have. And here, network. These are the only things you need to change: the country, the SSID, and the password. So the SSID for this will be just one that I've made up, or one that I changed it. My test SSID one. That's my SSID, and password is test PWD one. So after you've made sure you spelled it correctly and all that, you just leave it like this. Make sure you get it within the quotation marks. Um, and now, one important thing is the name. So you just click on Save As, and you save it. I will save mine in my documents, but make sure it's called WPA-supplicant.conf. And this will, make sure that the Raspberry Pi will know um, that this is the network file for it, to connect to the network. So you can just save it right there, and you're gonna need to make another file, um, which you don't need to write anything here. You just save as, and this is also important. You just write SSH and save. So once you're done with that, you can wait for this to finish, and you can, just make sure that the information or that both of them are there and that names are correct and stuff like that. Because after this has finished, we will just paste these two files in there. Because this is Raspbian Lite, it goes generally pretty quickly. But I can just skip to when it's done. So now you can see it's finished. Depending on your uh, imager, you'll get different messages, but this is the one that I get. And depending on different imagers, your SD card might get ejected or not. So just to be sure, you can take it out and put it back in. So now you don't need your imager anymore, so I'm just gonna close that and um, close these as well. But you just take your SSH file, put it in boot, or yeah, mine is called boot, and the W or the network configuration file in there, boot as well. So here you can see, just make sure that they're in there, and then you can just safely eject it. And now it is ejected. So now I'll just move back to my camera and go on from there.
All right, so now when you have removed your SD card and finished imaging and adding the network and SSH configuration files, you can firstly just enter or put in your SD card to your Raspberry Pi. So right there, and now you can just connect your power cable, which I did right there. So now you just wait. You can wait up to a couple of minutes. And then it should be all configured and ready depending on what Raspberry Pi you have, how quick it is, etc., etc. So I'll just cut to when it's ready. Yeah, guys. So I thought maybe not. Everyone is very familiar with terminals and different tools like different network scanning tools. For desktop, I thought you can use like a mobile app or something like that. So that's what I'm gonna do in this video. And one good one is called Fing. And once you've accessed your Wi-Fi, make sure you're on the same Wi-Fi and scanned it in the app. And found your Raspberry Pi. You just need to find the IP address, which you can see right here at the bottom. So after you've done that, you're just gonna want to SSH into it. You can use other things like Telnet and stuff, but for this video, I'm just gonna use the most common and secure, which is Secure Shell SSH. So I'm just gonna move on to my desktop now.
So guys, now I'm back at my desktop, and the first thing that you're gonna want to do is just open up your terminal. And for most terminals, it's just SSH. And then the standard username for your Raspberry Pi after you installed Raspbian is Pi. And then just at and your local IP address for your Raspberry Pi, which in my case is 192.168.1.174. So here you're gonna ask for if you want to authenticate, say the fingerprint, and just type yes. And the password, the standard one for the Raspberry Pi, if you're using Raspbian OS, is raspberry, and you are in now. So that's pretty much how you do it. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like my content, and if you liked the video, it would help if you would leave a like as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video.